Project Beatrix here is almost a daily driver these days, and she's my main car, and that means two things: the accumulation of dirt and the accumulation of water mixed in with that, especially in this boggy weather that we've had in the last week or so. And of course that means clay build up around the arches, around the little areas around the plastic arch liners, and all in the little creases and seams, and that is where rust starts, and you don't want it starting. The best preventative maintenance I've already done, and it's called Dynax, and the wax is working perfectly. Dynax, that will have to be topped up probably every 12 months. I've done it really thoroughly, and I would probably top it up using probably half a can, maybe a can, just to spray over the bottom side of the car in the future. But in the meantime, Dynax is quite expensive. It's about £20, well, £22 for a 750ml aerosol can. I know you can get them in the bigger bottles, but you have to, you need a spray bottle for that as well. But in total, what can you do to keep your car looking nice without spending a fortune constantly? And that is things at your disposal. The first thing is hosing, as you've just seen. I have got this hose lock stretch hose. Now I recommend this to everybody. This hose, by the way, stretches a long way. It goes about 30 meters, so I can get at the tap at the back of the house, and it goes a long way, and it compresses when it's actually shrank, because obviously the water goes into it and it expands and it goes quite far. But when it's actually empty of water, it's actually small enough to fit in this bucket really easily. These Maguire's buckets, I've got a few of these. This is my, as you can see, it's the dirty one. Hence why I've got all the alloy wheel brushes. Something I would recommend you get is one of these. These are very good alloy wheel brushes, and the soft ones, the cheap disposable soft ones, are just as good. But I would recommend getting a decent hose, and I recommend for a stress-free exercise, get a hose lock stretch hose, a flexi hose. Don't get the cheap ones. I did that before and it broke on me within a week. It burst literally at the seam here. Now, in terms of cleaning your car, I hose off this car just as you've seen on the outside, but more or less not just on the outside, on the underside, because that is where things get trapped. I mean, literally, if I run my finger here, that's just a few little bits stuck in there that I'll get out with my fingers. That's where mud accumulates. That's why your arches tend to rot on a lot of cars. That's why your sills tend to rot, because the dirt and clay and mud, and you've got to wash it off. And I wash my cars, well, at least this car, not the Focus, because she's in the garage these days. I wash this car in particular once a week, if I can, depending how bad it is. If it's been a clear week and I haven't driven it, it's been one of those weeks where I've left it at home, maybe once every 2 weeks, but it depends. But usually on a week that I have driven it, once a week, to wash everything off. Clean, fresh water. People say, well, isn't that going to make your car rust by spraying it with water constantly every week? Well, I think you need to ask the people that have been doing this with their cars for over 20-30 years and have still got the same car, which is now a classic car, and ask them about the condition of the underside of their car. Washing your car with clean, fresh water, that will preserve the car a heck of a lot long term. It will keep all the dirt at bay, and it will really reduce the amount of rust. Naturally, water will oxidize and cause rusting if some of the stone chippers come off suspension components. Naturally, that's going to happen. But what would you prefer? Dirt and clay and rainwater, which is filthy, or clean, fresh tap water? I know which I prefer. And that's the secret of what I do. So let's end the video here. No. We've got a lot of other things to look at. You want to have a look at my cleaning system. I have a system. I think we all have a system when it comes to cleaning cars, and it's not something, I think it's something to be debated. I think some people prefer a certain brand of products. Me, I've tried a range of brands over the years. Autoglym, Maguire's, diamondbrite, and a couple of others. There's so many different brands of car cleaning products out there. I can't really suggest what sort of products to go for, other than the products that I use, the products that have served me well over 10 years, And after lots of testing and trialing, this is the system that I have. It starts with a clean hose off. You hose off first, but then you start looking at some of the other products. Let's go inside and I will show you all the products I use. Now, in no particular, well, I say no particular order, there is a wide range of products that I've got down here, but essentially I used to have a rack full of, like, I think I had about 30, 40 different products at some point. I went on a massive spending spree a few years ago, and my shopping habits were pretty bad when it comes to car cleaning products. But over the years, I have learned which products are best for the price point versus the impact. That's what we want, because, you know, it's all good, you know, spending money on this and that, but really, honestly, it's about, in the cost of living crisis, we need to make sure that our money goes further, especially with motoring. Motoring's expensive. It's an expensive man's game, as they say, and we need to make it more cheaper and have a high impact. And the good thing is, there are so many products that weren't available about 10 years ago when I started that are now available today, and I only wish they were. I mean, do you guys remember when people used to wash their cars with a chamois leather? Oh yeah? No, we don't do that no more. I mean, to be fair, I've always used a sponge, generically. Get one of these sponges. They're not the cheap ones. These are quite nice sponges. They're quite like a sort of open cell foam, but they're quite absorbent, these are. And I don't go for the cheap sponges, go for these. But generically, I only use these for areas that I don't want to scratch the paint. So around the arches, maybe at the bottom end of bumpers, etc. Maybe the wheels, but these get dirty really quick, and I've got a pack of 10 of these. But today, we don't use chamois leathers or anything else to wash the car. We use microfiber mitts. We don't use sponges either. That sponge, as I say, I don't really use it. We use microfiber mitts. Get a few of these. These are brilliant. Okay, they do not scratch the car. They are very easy to apply, and you can use them on, you know, if you're cleaning your cloth seats or whatever, or your carpets. Trust me, you'll need a few of these, and they're brilliant. They last a long time. Put them in the washing machine every so often, and it does the trick. Obviously, they do accumulate dirt over time, but to dry the car, chamois leather obviously was the given 10 years ago, and then we discovered drying towels. You've seen this before. It is a microfiber drying towel. I think this is about 700 GSM. That means basically how thick it is. And this is quite thick, and it's quite a decent size, and literally you just run it across the body. And this is a really, really good item to use, and it does a really good job. And I wouldn't be without it. And obviously for all the rest of the cleaning products, you need to use microfiber cloths. I'm pretty sure that all of you have got a load of these. These are from Halfords. I bought a pack of 5. It was good in bulk. Although I would suggest going on eBay for better deals. There are lots of deals on microfiber cloths. And personally, I'll be ordering a pack of 50 or something stupid like that, because that's the amount I tend to go for over a large period of time. And when one gets dirty, you can't necessarily use it on paintwork again when it gets to a certain point, let's say. But then we've come to the important stuff now. Your car comes in and it's absolutely dirty. You've been driving it for weeks. It's disgusting. Where'd you start? You start by hosing it down like I've just done there. And that hose down will just clear out the light stuff. So any like branches or leaves or debris that's quite loose, it will loosen off with a gentle hose. You can use a pressure washer. I've got a pressure washer up there, to a Karcher K2. You don't need anything more than that. There are cheaper brands out there, but I would go with a Karcher K2. I've had that 6 years. Actually 7 years now, and it still works. And there's plenty of life left in the brushes. Though it's a brush motor, so naturally when the brushes wear out, the motor packs up and you need a new one. But the brushes, they're not even halfway through their life, their length, from what I've seen. So that has got a lot more to give. So Karcher K2, you can get them on good deals, and you can get the newest version because they're a little bit better than the old version, a little bit compact as well, small, and they're easy to store. So I would advise with that. A pressure wash is going to be good, but you use a pressure washer with this product down here. And it is called autoglym Polar Blast. This is a pre-wash, okay? Now autoglym basically this is designed to be used with a gun. So you've got the spray gun that you put this into, little bottle that attaches to the pressure washer nozzle, and you put about this much into this much water, about 100 ml to a couple of ml of water. Okay, if you want a thicker solution, then you put more solution in. But ideally, the snow foam is designed to clean the inside. It's designed to get rid of and loosen all that tar and tree sap. It won't loosen it all, but it will loosen most dirt particles that hose, that low pressured hose, will not get off. That hose is probably suitable for topping up, but for actually preparing the car for a really deep clean, this is where you start. You need a pre-wash. And the snow foam, some people say it's rubbish. I love it. Who doesn't love a snow foam? And it does a decent job from what I've seen. Now, Autoglym also sell a actual post-wash, which is after that. I can't remember what it's called actually. And then a wax that you can use with that same gun. So actually, Autoglym will sell you a contactless wash. The truth is, I understand the reason why you go about contactless, but unfortunately, when it comes to cleaning cars thoroughly, you're going to have to put your hands on the bodywork at some point. So I don't believe contactless washing is a very good idea in hindsight. It's only for reducing the amount of dirt on the car before you start putting some contact on with that microfiber mitt. And that's the next thing we come to. Then, when you've washed that off again with the pressure washer or hose, all that snow foam's gone, then you're ready for the next stage. And it's this. Autoglym Pure Shampoo. Don't get anything else. This is the nicest shampoo I've used. I've used Maguire's, I've used a few. That, for the price point, I think it's about £8 for that bottle, but it could be about £10. But it's a big bottle, it's a 1 litre bottle, and you're going to use all of it. I think I've used about 50% of it. So please, this is the next stage. Remember the 2 bucket method, the dirty bucket that I just showed you out there, and the clean bucket, which is this one. Okay, so get these Maguire's buckets, by the way, are really good. So get a couple of them. Okay, so you got your dirty one, you got your clean one. Okay, don't confuse the 2 bucket method. If you don't know how to do that, please, you need to go and research 2 bucket method. I'm not going to go over that because most of you know this. Anyway, so you put a little bit of there. What I would suggest with this is just put a cap full. That cap's enough and it will sud up really nicely. This will last years, absolute years. I've had this years already. So then you use your microfiber mitt over here, your green one that I've just showed you, to go over the car, and that's your contact. Go over gently. Remember, take your time. We don't want to be causing scratches by rushing and not thoroughly going from the clean bucket to the dirty bucket to the clean bucket, and then starting again. So we need to not mix things up a little bit. So once you've done the entire car in shampoo and washed it off, again, pressure washer or hose, it doesn't matter, then the car is pretty clean. You'll see a huge difference. But there'll be some areas that you may want to go over. But just have a look at the car, assess it, and then we can go to the next stage. Now your car is clean, that's where most people dry with this lovely drying towel over here, and then think, yep, job's done. It's not done. You've washed the car, it's clean, but one, there's no detailing and there's no protection. Now, as a minimum, you can put some protection on, put some wax on, but we'll come to that in a second because I don't believe that's the way you should do things. We like to detail our cars and make our cars look as good as possible. Now, I've shown you how to wet sand your car. At this stage, if you want to do any paint correction like wet sanding, you go with wet sanding. But I would ideally do something first, and that is what we call the clay bar. Now, ideally, you just need some water. You don't need lubricant, you just need water. That is it. And then you can use this with it, okay? It's a big block of clay bar. Get a block. Honestly, get some blocks in some bulk because you're going to need this. I mean, it's just quite a big block, that is, actually. Bought that off eBay for a few quid, actually. You can get it really cheap. And that is where you use the clay bar to actually pick up microscopic dirt particles stuck and embedded in that paint. Because that paint is clean. But often what you'll find on a car is, if I get a piece of paper, your paintwork is like a little bit of a ridge. It's got ridges all the way along it. And those ridges, that's dirt. That's embedded dirt. A lot of the time, Stuff that people think, oh, it's got a bit of paint on it from another car, or it's got some contamination I can't get off. Clay barring, it will get rid of it. Now, I would argue that you do a clay bar. If you want to do a wet sand, you do clay bar first, then a bit of wet sanding. But as I say, wet sanding, we're not going to concentrate on that because that is a kind of higher skill level, which I've done, but most of you may not be wanting to do that because you think it's too risky. That's fair enough, because a good level of results will be obtained from using a clay bar to get rid of all that contamination. You need to go all round the car. I'll tell you, you're probably, on a dirty car, you're going to use half that block. That's why I say get lots of these clay bars, because you're going to use it. And I would say on a car that's never had a clay bar in its life, which is quite often, because most people don't do it because it takes hours, go around the entire car. This process takes a long time, and it is important to get it right. So clay bar the entire car, every single panel, water, clay bar. Make sure your clay bar's got lots of water, and just go over. Keep squiggling it on. Your car will look dreadful once you've finished it, because you'll have all those squiggle lines everywhere, the watermarks where you've left the clay. Just a little tiny bit of clay on the surface. But that's absolutely fine. And that will actually pick up every single particle. But this method takes a long time. And you can do it, but I'm going to show you an alternative that can also do good results. Now, clay barring will remove practically everything, but there are some bits that maybe, well, one, you haven't got as much time, so your time's against you, and you need something that does the job quicker. Well, we've got a lot of products here. Tar Away is a good product, and this is a diamondbrite product, but I'm going to get one from autoglym, because this smells like electrical contact cleaner. It's alcohol it's just alcohol. This is pure alcohol. That might as well be contact cleaner. So I'll probably get a cheap version of this at some point. But if you can't be bothered with a clay bar, or there's a little bit that's really bad, like a really big piece of frigging tar, right down where your wheels are, because where your wheels are, you get lots of rubbish all along the sides. And this, for me, will get rid of that. You spray it on, leave it for a few minutes, and it will soften. And then you can either use a microfiber to wipe it away, or use the clay bar to then finish it off. I'd use the clay bar, and then it will push it all away. So that's what that product is, and it's a good product. Or there's this product, and I rate this highly. I'd buy this in bulk. And autoglym, you can buy a lot of products in the big vat of 10 litre, 20 litre containers, the sort of stuff that car detailers use, the trade. This autoglym Magma. Oh boy, this is absolutely amazing. This came out a few years ago. I think it was one of the first. It is basically an alloy wheel cleaner or body cleaner. Okay, you can use it on wheels or the body, and believe you me, if you've got a white car or a silver car and you spray this on, and you've got tar spots on your car that maybe you haven't used the clay bar method and you just want a quick solution, this is the solution. You spray it on, and it turns all those metal particles and the tar and everything environmental, it turns it red. It will change colour. It's the colour changing technology. Yeah, that's not a lucrative thing these days, because almost every car detailing brand has colour changing technology. You spray this on your alloy wheels, they'll be red. They'll be bloody red, literally bloody red within 1 minute. All those particles, those dust brake particles, will turn red, so you can see where you need to clean. Brilliant. Whoever thought of this, you're a rich man, and you should be. You can buy this in the big 20 litre containers, and I think this is one product I would, because you can use this on bodywork. There is another product I've got down here, and it is Ruby Red. Diamondbrite Ruby Red. This does the same job. However, there's two things. This smells nice. This absolutely stinks to high heaven. And also, I've read on the back and on the website, this is only designed for wheels. Now, I don't know whether this is safe for bodywork. It does not say. So I've only used this for wheels. But when this runs out, I'm just using this. I went and tried this for a while, and it's good. It does a really good job. But this is what you want, really. So you spray this on your bodywork and your wheels, leave it for a few minutes, and then you wash off. What you might find if you use the microfiber mitt down there, like you use for the shampoo, is that this will sud up. this will literally turn to like a really thick shampoo. It's actually really, really nice with a bit of water. So you might find you might need to get the pressure washer out and wash all that away. But these are really good products. So I would recommend that for bodywork and wheels, and this is just for wheels, but I'm going to move on from this because I think there's better products. Now, on the subject of wheels, obviously you've washed the body down, you've cleaned your wheels. Use the brushes that I've showed you in the early part of this episode. The thick brush, you don't need an expensive one. I think there's a brand of it, it's like a brush for parts washers, but you use it for wheels and it doesn't scratch your wheels. You can use the soft brush, if the cheap soft brush that I've shown you, if you're scared about damage, but really there isn't problem. But the Magma or the Ruby Red or alloy wheel cleaner will, one, change the colour so you can see where the particles are, where the dirt is, and secondly, it will soften everything down and it will be very easy to get rid of that brake dust. It will be a bit of a mess. You might have to clean it and then spray more on and go again and do a stage 2 if they're really bad. If they're not bad, if you've done this before, one stage is enough. Once you've dried those wheels, once you've washed it down and those wheels are relatively dry, put a bit more water on, just a little spray of water, and then you put this on. Now, a lot of manufacturers have got the same sort of products, but I'm actually going to stick with this. And this bottle, I wash my cars and detail them regularly, and I've only used that much in about a year because this is one product you won't use much. It is the diamondbrite alloy wheel shield. Now, a lot of autoglym have got their own. Basically, it is a protector. It is like a wax for your wheels. So basically, you've done the cleaning, now you've got to protect it. This performs a wax shield on the wheels. Basically, it doesn't allow brake dust to embed and stick onto the metal itself. It doesn't allow it. And because you've got that shield, the brake dust will not eat into the lacquer on your wheels. It's as simple as that, and you won't get paint peeling off on your alloys. So this is a must. And believe you me, I can spray that. You don't have to use this every time you wash the wheels, but I'd say once every 3 times, depending on how often you use it, how often you clean your car. But if you spray this on, believe you me, the next time you wash your car and you put something like this on, or Ruby Red, it will just fall off. The brake dust cannot embed on those wheels whatsoever. So this is a must. You're cleaning your wheels is fine, but you've got to sort this out and make sure you've waxed it to give it that protective coating, so it makes it easier for you second time round, and it protects the wheels. Now, in terms of the bodywork, you've washed it, you've clay barred it or mammoed it, so basically you've got no contamination. There is very little to no contamination on that bodywork, although I would recommend a clay bar for all the crevices, but still Magma can do a decent job. It's quite an expensive product, it's about £10 for one of these, so I would consider a clay bar to actually be decent value for money, but this is a really good product and I would definitely buy this in bulk in the future, because I tell you something with Magma, I would actually consider using this product as a shampoo because it shampoos so nicely. You know that it's going to decontaminate your paintwork and take all that rubbish off, and I really do think that if you don't want to fork out for pure shampoo, I think you could get away with buying that and forget the shampoo. I really seriously think that's how good a product this is. It is versatile. And the thing is, with a lot of detailers, they sell you the same product with different names. So it's a slightly different formulation to do a slightly different job. And that's what I'm going to come to next. So you've washed your wheels, you've dried your wheels, you've protected your wheels, but your tyres, they look a bit dirty, don't they? And we all love a good tyre clean. So what I would recommend, if I can actually find it, is one of the most versatile products you are going to see. Magma's versatile, but this is like heaven and earth. Vinyl and rubber cleaner. I would like to buy this in bulk as well. I'd like to buy a 20-litre container as well of this, because this stuff is utterly amazing. I used this product originally. I bought it because originally my Rover P6 had a vinyl roof, and this used to bring it out completely. It used to go flat as a pancake after a few weeks. This, you could, honestly, it was so shiny, it was untrue. And you can go over your plastics, you can go over any rubber and vinyl and plastic products. This will revitalise it, and including seats. Because remember, leather seats, They're not leather all through, unless it's an all leather seat. Most cars like the Focusrite 1 and Rover, the vinyl is round the sides and the back. Use this. Don't use a leather cleaner, because leather cleaners can be quite expensive. Use this for the backs. It will clean it off really nicely. And use this for your tyres. I know what people are going to say, oh, but what about tyre gel and tyre spray? It's the same product. It's the same as this. I just think that this product, tyre gel or tyre spray, tyre show shine, whatever you want to call it, is this product, because it's a rubber cleaner, it's a rubber nourisher, right? But in a slightly different formation. Maybe it's got some ingredients to prevent fade because of the sunlight. Maybe this isn't so robust on tyres, but maybe on bumper plastics. But if this is robust on bumper plastics, and it certainly has been, this is good enough for tyres. And you're going to need one of these, because your hands will get quite dirty, and it is literally a tyre sponge. So you literally spray this onto the tyre sponge, go all the way around on the wall. Do not apply this to the tread. You do not use any products like this on the tread, just on the outer sidewall, just to make it look really nice just before a show as well, and make your tyres look absolutely brand new. Then, because I know this video is going a bit long now, sorry about this guys, I do ramble on, but I think it's important. Next thing, if you think that any paintwork correction now needs to take place, you have to do it now. That car is squeaky bum clean. You've dried it again, your wheels are clean, you've been at doing your wheels, it's now air dried. Any area that you've missed, it's air dried, it's clean. Then, this. Autoglym Super Resin Polish. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a high-end £30–40 cutting polish that semi-professionals or professionals use, okay? But this, for the price point, is the best polish I've ever used. I've tried all sorts of polishes down the years. I started out with this, then I thought, let's try other products, because let's not get cued into autoglym. And do you know what? This is the best. This is the best cutting polish ever. I really do rate it, and I wouldn't recommend anything else. So you can either hand polish, or if you've got a machine, whether it's an orbital polisher or a dual action polisher, they're the best, because they go both ways and you get a better polishing action. If you use a machine, it takes the strain away. If you want to do it by hand, do it by hand. If you think a panel is completely faded, go for it. But this is the opportunity. But remember, don't paint in direct sunshine. So if you have to put it in a shaded spot, please do so before you do this. And then basically you can go and use a microfiber cloth. I personally, you're supposed to use polish applicators like a foam. I don't use polish applicators. I literally use one microfiber to apply the polish and one to buff off. I've never used foam applicators, and I don't see a reason to. I think it's a waste of money. I think most of them are like £6 or £7, and they've got you've got ones with your handprint, so you can just go over nicely. Use a microfiber. Don't waste your money. So that process will take, if you do the whole car, it will take hours. This is a 2-day process if you start going down the route, but this is where your car starts to completely and utterly transform. Then, once you've polished it, you've cut it. That's brilliant. That is the biggest, probably the most time-consuming job of the lot. Now, you can detail in areas like, you can go in the interior. I mean, what we have down here, if I can actually find it. No, it's not that one. No, it's this one. Interior cleaner, diamondbrite, but you can get other products from anywhere. It's just a generic one. I quite like the smell of this one. You can use it on your carpet. You can use it on dashboard plastics, but use the vinyl cleaner. Use your vinyl cleaner for plastics, for your dashboard and everything. Just use this mainly for carpets. If your carpets need a good scrub, get a good scrubbing brush as well and foam it down. You can use your microfiber mitt with a bucket to wash off the carpets and then let it air dry out. You know, get a wet and dry vac. That will be good enough. This vacuum here, which you've seen so many times before, that's a wet and dry vac. It's a cordless one, and that will be good enough for doing a little car and sucking as much water out as possible, and then letting the rest air dry. So open your windows and then leave the interior to dry if you're doing a bit of interior cleaning. If it's really bad in there, I mean, we're talking really bad, you're probably going to have to go a stage further. This diamondbrite upholstery and carpet cleaner. This is a foam shampoo. It is literally a foam cleaner, and this is the best one I've ever encountered. There's about, it's about £8 for the can, but believe you me, this will last a long time, and this will be a brilliant product to use. You'll love the way it foams. Literally spray a bit and the foam just goes everywhere. It's really, really cool. So this one is an absolute must. Now, if your windows are a little bit dirty, and this is where I suggest you start doing this, your windows, if they've got a lot of grease on them, a lot of dirt, even after washing, particularly on the inside, people think that they just need to clean the outside of the windows. It's the inside of the ones that you need to clean, because they're the most likely ones that you're going to touch, believe it or not. Now, the outside windows are pretty clean, but they might need a bit of a degrease. I would suggest, if they're heavily soiled on the inside or outside and you're getting steaming up issues in your windows, they're dirty. Often my suggestion to people who say, my windows really steam up badly, not even in the winter, just when it rains or when it gets cold, that. Autoglym car glass polish. It is a brilliant product. You won't use much of this. Put it on a microfiber and literally use it like a polish. So basically it's a polish, but for windows. So buff it in really nicely, leave it for a few minutes, buff out and get it straight out. Once you've used this product, you may have to go around with the vinyl and rubber cleaner and just clean the rubbers around the windows, because you might stain the rubbers a little bit. I think the vinyl and rubber cleaner is one of the last products you should use, actually, because using a car polish, you'll get polish stains on your plastics, so you go around with that again. But for your windows, if they're heavily soiled, go for that. But the best window cleaner, if it's okay, if they're just lightly soiled, even if they're vaguely soiled, I would recommend diamondbrite Ultra Glass. This is the best glass cleaner on the market, and a lot of people say the same thing. It literally leaves just no smears. You get smear marks everywhere you clean your windows. Believe you me, that's the most annoying thing, smears after you've cleaned them. So this will leave smears. It won't leave a smear-free finish. You have to go over with a microfiber cloth a few times, but you can finish with this. I argue if you use this and buff off really nicely, you won't need to use this. But if your windows are lightly soiled, don't use the polish. You don't need it. Use this. I would have both products. This is utterly amazing, and I've used a lot of it. I use it a lot before I go to shows. Now, there is also another area of the car that we need to look at, the engine bay. Engine bay, I would recommend lift off. Now, this smells actually like a household cleaner, but this is diamondbrite lift off. It is a gentle cleaner. I mean, I can read it out. It's a multi-purpose cleaner. You can use this on bodywork. It could be for light cleaning. If your car is relatively clean, it's a bit dirty, you can use this to clean the bodywork. It suds up into a nice shampoo. You can use this anywhere. You can use it on dashboards, paintwork, wheels, engine bays, but I actually prefer to use this in the engine bay because it leaves such a citrusy, lovely citrusy smell. It really is nice, and it's cheap. It's a few quid. Maybe this is a household product that they've just adapted for cars. I wouldn't use anything household because it's not designed and tested for paintworks. It's a few quid. It's one of their cheapest products, and it is a go-to multi-purpose product. I would definitely say so. But in the end, we are looking now at protecting the paintwork. Now, there's one product I can't actually show you because I've actually left that product down in the lockup, but I'm going to put a picture right now of what this product is. At this moment in time, we need to clean the exterior. We've cleaned the exterior. We can clean the engine bay. Although I will say one thing, there is a product that I use quite universally, and it's this engine and machine cleaner. Remember Project Beatrix and how shockingly bad that engine bay was when I bought it? Oh yeah, if you go back to the first video, you have a reminder about how dirty that engine bay was. It was literally like the farm, and this product was what brought her back. This is an engine machine cleaner. Just use it with a soft brush, the soft brush I showed you at the start of the video in the yellow dirty bucket. Just a cheap, light little brush. I don't know what I said there, but yeah, use it to just soak it up, just agitate, and then gently rinse off. But I wouldn't use a hose on an engine bay. Personally, just get a little bucket of water. another one of these, a dirty one, and just soak it, just sod it in, and it will get rid of all the dirt. But use a dirty one. I have a clean one and a dirty one of these. So the dirty one is for the engine bay. In fact, the dirty one is actually in the bin because it got that dirty. So I've got to get another dirty one. But this is a universal product. It's 10 quid. I think I bought this 10 quid on eBay, and it's well worth the money. Again, engine bays or anything really dirty, it's a great product. But anything that's really bad, I would use an engine degreaser. I would use a specific engine degreaser, but enough of that anyway. Waxing the car. There's no point in cleaning the car, clay barring it, detailing it, polishing it without putting the wax on. Now, I used to use autoglym HD wax, okay? Now, I'm going to show you a picture just to the left. Now, this product, as I say, I don't have this product with me today because I've left it in the lockup, but it is autoglym extra gloss protection. Now, this product is what I use to wax the car on the outside. Now, autoglym HD wax, the old-fashioned wax, it's very easy to apply and it lasts for 6 months, but it's about a 45 quid tub, and it'll probably take you years to use it. But I actually didn't like it. I think there's so many waxes now that you can just spray on and you will use more regularly. And the other thing about using that sort of wax is, yes, it protects the car and beads the water when it rains for 6 months at least, if you do it properly. But I'm not going to go 6 months without washing the car again. This process will be done every few months. Obviously, the polish, I won't need to polish. Once you've polished the car and cut it and it looks shiny, you won't need to do the polishing stage. So all this is done for you. You've just got to do the washing, washing the wheels, bit of detailing, and then the waxing. So this will be a short process the second time round. But extra gloss protection is a wax sealant. So it's not a wax, but it's a liquid sealant. There's so many of them on the market. Some are designed to be used with darker colours, some not. But extra gloss protection is quite a liquidy substance, and it is brilliant. You just put it on a microfiber and just put it on the paintwork, and it will actually fade before you come around to buffing it off. But just put it on the paintwork and then buff it off to make sure there's no smears. That's it. Do it panel by panel, and you'll have that car waxed in about, the average car, half an hour for a decent job, 20 minutes. If you use the HD wax, the old-fashioned wax, that lasts a lot longer, for 6 months, it will take you about an hour. It might be the process of polishing. It'll be quicker than polishing, but it will take you about an hour for the average car. Now, extra gloss protection gives you about a month or two's protection. That's fine, because I wash my cars in this process once every 2 months. So that's fantastic for me, and I wouldn't recommend anything different, and I would go for that. I really would. It's done me a treat for the last 12 months, and I'm sticking to it. And the price point is very, very attractive at about 11, 12 quid for a decent sized bottle. As I say, it is quite a nice sized bottle. But now you've actually waxed it and you've detailed it. You used a bit more of this when you've finished off. You can use some of this in the engine bay. You know, you've used all the products. Obviously, I've shown you how to wet sand and exhaust. If you want to make your tailpipe look a bit better, 1500 grit sandpaper, bit of wet sanding, bit of water, and just sand it down with all that browny, dirty grey crud will come off that exhaust pipe and it will look much better. Then, metal polish. Go over with a metal polish. By the way, guys, top tip, stop buying autoglym metal polish in the little sachets. I used to do that. What a waste of money. They're like 6-7 quid for a sachet. This is a 750ml container. That's 10 of those sachets. 10. 10 times 7. That's 70 quid you're costing yourself for the price of this. And guess how much this cost me? £23. If you want to save money for years in the long term, buy it in bulk. £23. This will last me, I think I'll be 50 by the time I finish with this tin. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. Save yourself some money and buy things in bulk. Do your exhausts. Any chrome bumpers. Saw that if you've got a classic car, chrome bumpers. It's the best. And then if you're doing the seats, like I've said in a couple of previous videos, Gliptone is the best. I don't go with autoglym or anybody else. Gliptone is the best. I'm sorry, but it is just the best. I've tried a lot of products. This smells like old British leather. I agree, on a Ford or Mercedes or German car or a much more modern car, this is not applicable as a smell. But believe you me, the smell doesn't last too long. But it absolutely, the leather goes so subtle with this. If you're not sure about the condition of the leather, gentle cleaner. If you're not so sure, you've got the intensive cleaner. Yeah, this is quite an old bottle. GT12, intensive cleaner. This will clean leather seats that have never been cleaned before. If you've got cloth seats, I would actually use this. This is good for cloth seats. But if you've got leather seats, this intensive cleaner. If you think the leather seats have been cleaned before, you've previously cleaned them, gentle cleaner, which is, excuse me, GT11. I think this is GT11 and this is GT12, okay? They have different codes, but just put Gliptone Gentle Cleaner. It will come as a pack. Usually, you'll get the cleaner and you'll get this. Now this is GT11, so that's wrong. That's a different one then. You'll get it in a pack. You'll get a cleaner and the leather conditioner, GT11. It's very easy to use and it uses very minimal water, and the conditioner is what keeps your leather subtle. Yes, you can clean them, get in the crevices, use a little nail brush to get inside the crevices and seams. Just be gentle, because obviously stitches can come undone if you're a bit too... Be careful. Just use it gently with the gentle cleaner or the intensive cleaner, and then go over with the conditioner. And believe you me, your leather seats will look absolutely amazing. Now, people have asked me what I use for shows. Well, there's two products really. Now, this is a product I've used for years. Autoglym Rapid Detailer. This is a superb product, and it is actually designed to be used with a clay bar. This is a lubricant for a clay bar, but I argue, don't use this. That's expensive. Just use water with a clay bar. Save yourself some money. Water's a good enough lubricant for a clay bar. I've never known any damage with water. But this is a rapid detailer. It does what it says. It's a quick refresh shine on all external surfaces. It's as simple as that. You can use it on plastics, on paintwork. You can use it on anything. It is literally when you turn up to the show, and obviously when you go to a show, you might have travelled some distance and you've got a bit of dirt on your car that wasn't there before because you've done all this process. You know, you've had the pre-show detailing day. And this is what I go through with this system before a show. This is what I do before I go to a car show. But then I'll go to the show and there's a little bit of dirt here and there. It will just wipe it off completely. It's safe to use it with a microfiber, and that's it. There is also another product that I use, which many people are now familiar with, and this product was only available to dealerships. It was a bit of a known secret up until about 6 years ago when they started to break cover in the mainstream market, and it is ceramic glaze. Ceramic detailers are now on the market from every single brand. They all do the same sort of job, but it is a finishing glaze. It is a high gloss ceramic protection. You can use this at the show, or you can use it before the show. Personally, Rapid Detailer, I've just had to get this out the boot of my car. This stays in the boot of any car I take to a show. This is something you can use as a wax alternative. If you've used extra gloss protection, and let's say after a week of doing that washing, you have to go somewhere. Maybe you see a car show or a car meet that you didn't plan to go to, and you think, well, my car, I don't want to be washing my car all over again. It looks pretty good. I haven't really used it much. What do I use? This. Just make sure that the major dirt is removed from the paintwork, so you reduce the chances of scratches. And I used ceramic glaze. It is a wax. It gives high level protection. This will probably last a week, maybe a couple of weeks. It's not as good as extra gloss protection, but it will give you that little bit of an edge, maybe before you take it to a show. Even if it's a quick rub up, it's brilliant. It's utterly brilliant. You can use it as an alternative to extra gloss protection because it is a wax protectant. But ceramic isn't quite as good as wax. It's classed as a wax, but it's not quite as good. So I would still use extra gloss protection, but use this as and when required. So, yeah, we have a lot of products here, and that's my system. And I'm going to leave you to just stare at these for a few seconds. And as you can imagine, I've actually kind of just come to the conclusion that autoglym is kind of what I started out with. And it's almost what I'm going to finish with, because there's quite a few diamondbrite products that I've tried and I actually like. Some of them I will move on, like Ruby Red. I will move on from that because it's about simplifying things. And I think this is a lot of products. There's quite a few products. There's probably 2 or 3 products that I really wouldn't have in the future. But it's all about using the products wisely and saving a bit of money. Vinyl and rubber cleaner, use that on tyres. You don't need tyre gel. There's little things like that that you've just got to kind of be aware about. But as I say, these are amazing products. And yeah, I'm just shoving my face in the camera a little bit. But I'm going to leave this here. And I hope that this has been some benefit. See you soon. Bye-bye.